Nobody? Okay, cool. Gotcha.
Why do you feel like you guys have had so much success stopping that interior run, in between the tackles? What you guys have done really well.
I think at times we've been really effective, and I think that's a testament to the guys up front. We got Nash and Ty and Blaze and Cam. We got a lot of guys up in there that are executing at a high level. So anytime you got players that believe in what they're doing and they go out there, you give them a chance to go out there and play fast. I think it's showing up. You know what I mean? So testament to those guys getting ready and the coaches coming up with a game plan that we feel like, hey, this is what they want to do. This is how we want to defend it, and it's worked so far in the past.
What have you seen specifically from Nash?
I see a guy who is starting to understand how good he is. I think he's one of the best D linemen in the country. You know what I mean? And he's proven that to us. So now it's more so he's putting it on the grass and kind of proving it to everybody else. But he's a guy who you root for because he does everything the way you want it to be done. He was a black shirt in the mat drills, doing everything right, low maintenance, great grades, great teammate. He's one of the organizers. He had all of they all stay in the house, him and Lucas and all those guys stay in the house. And we had family dinner yesterday, and they organized where they finally, all of them brought their girlfriends and stuff over, and it was like amazing to be able to be with them, be with them and be amongst them. And that goes back to the whole entire process, not just being about the grass and being football players, but us all being in this thing together.
As good as you guys have started, Coach Rule said the other day there's a lot that can be done better on defense, and he said the thing he likes is guys really seem to, they believe it. They're not hyped up about what they've done so far. What have you seen about guys taking the teaching and seeing the areas they can improve on?
Yeah, again, it starts at the top, right? Because it's real easy that you come off a win and everybody's feeling good and all that stuff. But, coach is always figuring out ways to make sure that everybody on the team is motivated and see that truly, right, we can get a lot better. Some of that stuff out there was ridiculous. And if we focus on that, on the process of playing great defense, play in and play out, everybody doing their job, then it shows up on the grass. And when it shows up on the grass, the guys, again, they believe. And then they believe more in the process. And then they put more feet to the grass of the process. And then, you're able to look after the season when we're said and done. And if we're a great defense then we're a great defense. But right now we're an improving defense.
How do you see the pass rush right now and how it's growing as the season goes?
Yeah, but that's something that we got to continue to work on, right? We got some guys who are taking advantage of the protections and stuff, getting guys one-on-one, and they're winning at times. Again, I think we can win even more. There's a lot of still missed sacks out there, guys, about 6 to 8 inches away from really, really making game-changing plays. So that's the only thing we're focused on right now is making sure that they understand the why so we can make up that ground on it because we want to sit back and relax after the season and say, oh, man, we had this many sacks. So right now it's just, hey, La Tech, that's all that matters right now.
Just about every staff in preseason camp, at any team is going to talk about wanting to play a lot of players.
Yeah.
It doesn't always happen
that
way. Why for you, what's the reason for being able to follow through on that and play as many guys as you've been able to do through 3 games?
I think it's again, a great point. There's a philosophy, right? That's philosophy in terms of there's just some guys that don't want to only play the starters, and that's it. And there's guys like Coach Rule that, hey, he wants to play anybody who can be effective on the grass, right? So one is the philosophy, and then two, it's the players. You got a lot of guys who have been around that did not play, so you did not know what you're going to get. Like Buddha. I know he's played Nash. I know he's played Blaze. I know he played, but they really didn't play. So you really didn't know what there was, right? So then they go through the process, and you see that they're smart, they're big, they're tough, athletic, and you give them a chance, and they're doing it. And then mix those guys in with the new guys, the P. Wills, the Cams, you saw Riley Van Poppel out there early on in the game, and he did a great job of standing the guy up. Mackay, you got guys who want to show what they can do. So they're putting in the work. It's up to us to make sure that stuff is simple enough for them to where they can see it, understand it, and then give them a chance on the grass. Because a lot of times you got really good players, but they don't truly know what to do. So then they go out there and they're making mistakes and they're playing hesitant, and then you're like, oh, see, he can't do it. Well, the first thing you better look at as a coach is yourself, right? You're like, why can't he do it? And that's the first thing Coach Rule is always honest about, like, well, why can't he do it? I don't care that we say he can't do it right now. Why can't he do it? And let's go back and fix it so that way we can. And again, it's all about those guys doing it.
You mentioned Buddha. He had some injuries earlier in his career.
Yeah.
But what have you seen out of him? When did you realize like he can really fit within what you want to do?
Well, again, that's Coach Rule, Coach Coop, Rob, and then Buddha. He has the traits, right? He walks into the room. That's one of the first guys. Everybody's like, man, who's that guy, right? Then you see him run around. You're like, dude, this guy's tall. He's long. He's explosive. He's fast. Like, well, why isn't he playing? Why isn't he, more effective? So then you move him down to backer, and that fits his role great, especially for what we do, right? He's blitzing. You get a chance to play him in some space. And then it goes back to Rob doing a really nice job of simplifying things like, hey, in this coverage, this is where you should be. Have your eyes where they're supposed to be. And then now let all that athleticism loose, And so he's continuing to get better and better. He's still got a lot to improve on, but at least he's showing what he's gotten, and he's having fun doing it, so it's cool.
What concerns you about Louisiana Tech?
They're good. I mean, they run the ball for over 180 yards a game. So I know for all this, they want to throw it all over the park, and they're really effective throwing the ball. Got a lot of formations. They got explosive wide receivers, multiple, but 6 is dynamo in there, and then their backs. I think their backs are really good. They make guys miss, and then they're explosive. And then, just the system. They're going to find answers. Very similar to Colorado-ish, in terms of the passing game. Get the ball out quick, get it to playmakers in space. Then when they want to take their shots, they'll be calculated and throw it deep. We're going to see deep shots. So they're tough. You see why they have a lot of success on offense.
How nice was it to be back at home, and what were your first impressions of coaching a defensive game at Memorial Stadium?
That was really like – I told my family this after, like, that's something that's like a bucket list deal. You know what I mean? Like going through the red carpet and seeing all those hopefully future Huskers out there. Then I don't think I've ever been at a place where it was like pregame and you look up and damn near every seat was taken. You know what I mean? Like you're like, holy cow, this is really cool. And then the light show, it truly was one of those times where you're like, I'm going to remember that for a long, long, long time. So it was amazing.
You mentioned dinner with family dinner.
Yeah.
Is that uncommon? And who served what? What was on the menu?
Oh, I have not. Coach Rules again. There's guys that coaches speak, and there's guys that actually do. And Coach Rules is a big family guy and wants the families in this process because we're all in this together. So we had family dinner, and the guys brought their girlfriends and stuff over, so you see them in a different light. It's personal with like when they bring that other person, and they're all sitting at the table, and you get to sit down and enjoy a meal and see what's important to them. That makes it more special. As a matter of fact, we took a picture. You can ask Luke when you see him, but we took a big picture. I got this panoramic picture with all those guys and their girlfriends and all that stuff. I was going to be in the office, and I said that's. And my coaching experiences, whenever you get to share that with the players, when it's personal like that, like they might not see it, but it makes coaching that much more enjoyable. Being out there with those guys and running around with them and stuff like that, both ways. They see that connection, and I think it's a good bond to have.
All right,
Thank you, everybody.